Hey, it's Jabbo. Welcome to BrickTsar, your home for vintage Lego. And we're going really vintage now. This is something that's, even though I do a lot of old stuff, it's not a lot out there that's actually older than I am, but this is definitely there. This is set from 1964. It is the fire engine, set 305. Now there are a couple of sets that have the number 305. This is actually 305-2, even though it's the first set numbered 305. And I think the reason for that is that this was a little bit harder to know about when people started making databases of Lego sets and set inventories and things like that. A lot of people did not know about perhaps this set 305, because it's one of the sets from this time period in the mid-60s that they didn't seem to make as many as some of the others. Because there's other sets from this time period that you can find on eBay all day long, sometimes very cheaply. But this one I've never seen listed with the box or the instructions. But I do know that people have done like what I did. I just pieced it together from set inventories online. And there's a lot of discrepancies with this, as there are with a lot of the older sets. And I must say that despite having 3 different places you can get the instructions and the inventories, it's still hard to build. In fact, I doubt that I've built it according to the actual inventory. I got extra pieces, and these pieces are because I had to get pieces to kind of do it the way the set did according to Bricklink. So the first thing I did is I downloaded the inventory from Bricklink, put all those parts together, and then I got the instructions from Brickfactory. The problem with Brickfactory, the instructions end at step 5. There's 6 steps. And they're very hard to see. And even zooming in, I realized that I could not build it with the pieces as listed on Bricklink. So I went and got a couple extra 2x4 bricks to do it. And then I was like, when I got to step 6, I was like, oh. So I found another site that had step 6. It had a different inventory. And so it was like, oh, okay. So now it makes more sense. One of the discrepancies, Bricklink shows it having, I think, 8 2x8 red bricks. Other sites show it having 10. My favorite, though, I should have gone back to the original site that I used to use for inventories, which is Peeron.com. Peeron, P-E-E-R-O-N. That website had a better version of the instructions, and it had the 10 2x8 red bricks. I also had some other things that were different, but even with that, I still couldn't build I still couldn't build it like the instructions given the inventory. And it's a lot of it could be I put the wrong pieces in places, and so they skip a lot of the steps with old sets. Old Lego sets instructions were more of a suggestion than a rule. They didn't, I mean, they would just skip like whole rows of it, and you're like, okay, what just happened? I don't know. So anyway, I got it. It looks like the model on the box, which I don't have the box, don't have the original instructions. I would love to find the original instructions. It's something that's been on my wanted list for a long time. Don't recall it ever going for sale. The only thing I've ever seen for sale is people selling the piece together version like I did, but never the original box or the original instructions. So I think this is the first fire engine. Now there were HO scale fire engines, but this is the first brick-built fire engine. One of the original Lego sets after the 1958 patent was, I think, a set 308. It's a fire station, and the fire station uses the HO scale, like the Bedford fire trucks, I think, go in that. Those are the ones that the little spool of hose on the back tends to fall off and get lost. But that one was the first fire station, but it didn't have brick-built fire engines. It had HO scale fire engines. Still Lego, but this is the first, I think, then the first brick-built fire engine. I did scroll through my Lego guidebook Collector's Guide to Lego, and yeah, and they didn't even have the picture of this. This is how hard, if you're scrolling through that book came out in 2008, they didn't have the picture of this set because I think a lot of people didn't have it, even though Peeron has it. You know, Peeron hasn't been updated in like 12 years, but I don't know what happened with that, but anyway, that's not what this video is about. But they did have very high quality pictures of the box and the instructions on Peeron. So what do I think about this set? Well, I hate it. I hate this fire truck. It's very hard to build. It's actually hard to take apart. With the 2x bricks. This would have been better build if they had 1x8s and stuff. Now they got the 1x8 yellow bricks that they use for the ladder, which is, it's just bricks attached. I mean, you can't like pull the ladder off. If this ladder comes off, there's like literally no support for the ladder. I mean, it's just the only thing that's holding the ladder together is that it's connected to the truck. Yeah, see, a very useless ladder. But yeah, these 2x, and I try to use mostly vintage parts. I think by the time I got to the yellow bricks, I got some that are probably from the 80s. I just got to where I didn't care anymore. But most of the older parts, they got the old Lego logo. Tried to avoid cellulose acetate. Nobody indicated whether it was cellulose acetate or ABS plastic, so I use cellulose acetate, and I got some nasty bricks on here. But anyway, yeah, in having to build it and trying to build it per the piece count, which I ended up using the pieces on Peeron, and I still ended up not using 2 of these 2x2 bricks that it shows on the piece count, but then I got a couple of gaps. And the interior part is just a mess, trying to get it built the way the instructions show. And so I'd build it, and then I'd take it back apart. I was trying to end up where I had no leftover pieces, and it's just like, I give up. I give up. The only thing I think I built right is the pump car. So this little car in the minifigure, or not the mini, the figure. So you got the pump car, which I think is a European thing. They may have had pump cars in the U.S. It's held together by this flimsy, the nylon connector. That's probably, that and the wheels are the only unique pieces. I think it would probably be better if I just rebuilt this with modern pieces. Everything you could do modern except for the wheels and that nylon piece right there. So I mean, so yeah, there it is. The fire truck. The fireman is kind of funny because he's got his boots or his hat or his boots. They're the same piece, a 2x2 slope. Does he go like that, or does he go like the other way? I think with the firemen, they have more of a bill in the back, so I think that's the way it goes. But yeah, a Lego figure, brick-built figure. So the wheels on mine are pitiful. They do not roll very well. It uses the opaque bottom wheels, which all of the ones I have like that, the wheels tend not to spin very freely in there with these. So yeah, they don't. These wheels, the early Lego wheels are just bad. They're really bad. So, but I hate this set, but I still love it. So I'm gonna find a protective case to put this in, like I have on my display. Get one of those from Hobby Lobby. Maybe I should change it. You know, I got all these parts from the various bulk lots of vintage Lego that I had, and some of those lots I haven't washed yet. So I washed these. They still need to be washed, but the water was filthy. So these used lots that I've gotten, yeah, there were some really dirtier than I even thought, even just looking at them. And even after cleaning it, it still looks bad. Oh, it's sad. But anyway, that is set 305. Probably talked way too much about it. 1964, one of the harder to find Lego sets, but it's easy to piece together. This little nylon piece is not hard to find. Neither are the wheels. So if you wanted to build one of these yourself, you could build it. I mean, it'd be close to what the original was if you could read the instructions. And I'm wearing the suit because back in this time period, everybody wore suits. A lot of the Lego box art, of course this one didn't have a box art, didn't show kids on it, but the parents, if the parents were in the shot with the kids, they were usually wearing nice clothes. So yeah, we're dressing up for this set, even though it's a piece of crap. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. If you like vintage Lego, this is your place to be. I've probably covered more vintage Lego sets than anybody else in the history of YouTube. So I got that going for me. I'll see you guys with another probably less dirty set the next time. See ya.